Vrindavan Dham ki jai.
Jai.
Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai.
Jai.
Ganga Mai ki jai.
Jai.
Jamuna Mai ki jai.
Jai.
Tulsi Devi ki jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Devi ki jai.
Jai.
Shamaveta Bhakta Brinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaur Prem Anande.
Hari Hari Bol.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedant Shami Tinamane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirbhishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshata. Pradanath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept
Can
my
you read
obeisances.
and mine? Please accept. Can you read the translation, please?
Yes. Chant. Chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant. When Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda came dancing through Nadia, they gave these teachings. Chant. Chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant. You are caught up in a whirlpool of senseless action and are sinking lower and lower. Chant. Chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes.
If you just understand that the spirit soul is the eternal servant of Krishna, you will never have any more sorrows. Chant Hare Krishna and your eyes will fill with tears and your body will feel transcendental shivering. Chant, chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant. Simply chant Radha Krishna and join with us. Those are the only alms we beg. Chant, chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant. All dangers will be gone when that name is chanted, says Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Chant, chant Radha Krishna. Everyone, chant.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila chapter 11, the branches of Lord Nityananda. Here we're at text number 9.
ঈশ্বর হইয়া কহায় মহাভাগবত, বেদ ধর্মাতীত হওয়া বেদ ধর্মে রত।
Although Virabhadra Goshani was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he presented himself as a great devotee. And although the Supreme Godhead is transcendental to all Vedic injunctions, he strictly followed the Vedic rituals.
অন্তরে ঈশ্বর চেষ্টা, বাহিরে নির্দম্ব, চৈতন্য ভক্তি মণ্ডপে তেহ মূল স্তম্ভ।
He is the main pillar in the hall of devotional service erected by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He knew within himself that he acted as the Supreme Lord Vishnu, but externally he was prideless. Text 11.
অদ্যাপি যাহার কৃপা মহিমা হইতে চৈতন্য নিত্যানন্দ গায় সকল জগতে।
It is by the glorious mercy of Sri Virabhadra Goshani that people all over the world now have the chance to chant the names of Chaitanya and Nityananda. So this is, we'll say, Sri Virabhadra Goshani.
শ্রী বীরভদ্র গোসাই।
Yes, yes. Text 12.
সেই বীরভদ্র গোসাইর লইনু শরণ, যাহার প্রসাদে হয় অভীষ্ট পূরণ।
I therefore take shelter of the lotus feet of Virabhadra Goshani, so that by his mercy, my great desire to write Sri Caitanya Caritamrita will be properly guided. Text 13.
শ্রীরামদাস আর গদাধর দাস চৈতন্য গোসাইর ভক্ত রহে তাঁর পাশ।
Two devotees of Lord Chaitanya named Sri Ram Das and Gadadhar Das always lived with Sri Virabhadra Goshani. Purport. Sri Ram Das, later known as Abhiram Thakur, was one of the 12 Gopals or cowherd boyfriends of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The Gaur Gunadesh Deepika 126 states that Sri Ramdas was formerly Sri Dama. In the Bhakti Ratnakara fourth wave, there was a description of Srila Abhiram Thakur. By the order of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Abhiram Thakur became a great acharya and preacher of the Chaitanya cult of devotional service. He was a very influential personality, and non-devotees were very much afraid of him. Empowered by Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he was always in ecstasy and was extremely kind to all fallen souls. It is said that if he offered obeisances to any stone other than Shalagram Shila, it would immediately fracture. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, 10 miles southwest of the Chanpadanga railway station on the narrow gauge railway line from Howrah in Calcutta to Amta, a village in the Hooghly district, is a small town named Kanakula Krishnanagar, where the temple in which Abhiram Thakur worshipped is situated. During the rainy season, when this area is inundated with water, people must go there by another line, which is now called the Southeastern Railway. On this line, there is a station named Kolaghat, from which one has to go by steamer to Rani Chak. 7.5 miles north of Rani Chak is Kanakula. The temple where Abhiram Thakur worshipped is situated in Krishnanagar, which is near the Kul bank of the Kana Dvarakeshwara River. Therefore, the place is celebrated as Kanakula Krishnanagar. Outside of the temple is a bakul tree. This place is known as Siddha Bakul Kunj. It is said that when Abhiram Thakur came there, he sat down under this tree. In Kanakul Krishnanagar, there is a big fair held every year in the month of Chaitra, March, April, on the Krishna Saptami, the 7th day of the dark moon. Many hundreds and thousands of people gather for this festival. The temple where Abhiram Thakur worshipped has a very old history. The deity in the temple is known as Gopinath. There are many Saivite families living near the temple. It is said that Abhiram Thakur had a whip, and whoever he touched with it would immediately become an elevated devotee of Krishna. Among his many disciples, Sriman Srinivasa Acharya was the most famous and the most dear, but it is doubtful that he was his initiated disciple. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gata Mahyam Dadati Shapandantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'd like to first ask blessings and permission from those who are senior to me in age and advancement in Krishna consciousness, and their blessings. Thank you. Ahem. So in this purport, the first paragraph describes that Abhiram Thakur, on one hand, he was on the order of Nityananda Prabhu, he became a great acharya and preacher of the Chaitanya cult of devotional service. So sometimes it's said that one has to get the order of the spiritual master to become a preacher. So to spread Krishna consciousness. So what do you think about that? Have you gotten the order?
When it means order is either given order or begging order, permission. Can it be?
Given order, yeah.
Yeah, given order. And also one can ask order also, right?
Yes. So, but in this case, Srila Abhiram Thakur was ordered to become a great acharya. How about you?
Yes, we have all been asked to.
How is that?
How is that?
Who asked you? Who asked you? Who asked you?
My guru asked me, and when he asked me to distribute books, isn't that what he's saying?
Yes, yes. Jari deka tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Amar agyay guru hana tare edesh. Lord Chaitanya asked everybody, everyone, to preach the cult of Krishna consciousness. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. In this way, he said, Lord Chaitanya is saying. So there's one movie that was made by a devotee, not an ISKCON devotee, but about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he says there that Srila Prabhupada got the order to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world. And so he did it, whereas as if he was the only one who got that order. You follow? But actually, all of the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur were given the same order. And Lord Chaitanya gave the order. It wasn't something just given to one or two people exclusively. So, but Srila Prabhupada's glory was that he took up the order, and by that he got the power of Lord Chaitanya and his spiritual master to spread Krishna consciousness. So yes, very good, Mother Shobharade. That's right. Your guru has said that, and because he said that, but not just he didn't make it up, but he's following in the line of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. So that's his qualification. He continues to give the same order that Lord Chaitanya gave. So that's good. So hopefully you can also become a great preacher. So then we read about Abhiram Thakur a little bit down here for. I don't know about this offering obeisances to a stone. Other than Shalagram Shila, it would crack. Sometimes people wonder, you get a Shalagram Shila, and is it really a bona fide Shalagram Shila? So, but I don't think that that's the reason he was offering obeisances to a stone. So I don't know the import of that. Does anybody know?
I understood that if it is somehow people are worshipping is unknowingly was offering obeisances to thinking Salagram Sila, if that's not a Salagram, then it would crack. That it'll come to the original nature. That's what I understood from this.
Could you say that again?
My understanding was he was not testing. He would offer obeisances because if that's served as Salagram Sila, when you offer obeisances, if it is really not a Salagram Sila, it would crack.
Okay, that may be. Yeah, we don't. It's not elaborated here. It could be that way. So you're saying that if somebody had a Shila in a temple, and Abhiram Thakur came there and he offered obeisances, and if it wasn't a genuine, he didn't do it like as a test, but it would happen. Okay,
That's what yeah.
Could be. Yeah, it's not elaborated here, so we can only conjecture. Then there's more description here of how Abhiram Thakur's place of worship, getting there. And this Kanakula Krishna Nagar, if I understand correctly, that's different than the Krishna Nagar by Mayapur. Is that correct? There's a Krishna Nagar which was established by Raj Krishna Chandra, sometime maybe 200 years ago. But this is Kanakula Krishna Nagar. Anyway, and then the last thing, there's this, the deity of Gopinath is there. When they do the parikrama of the whole Gaur Mandala, they may stop at Abhiram Thakur's house. There's this whip that he used. He would touch somebody and they would develop and become an elevated devotee of Krishna just by touching the whip. What do you think about that?
That's it happens in Jagannath Puri also, though it's in different concept. If you go to Jagannath Puri, the pandas will hit you with two bamboo sticks, small, tiny one, thin ones, touch with you like everybody like this. In the similar concept. In America, if we do that, they will not like it probably.
Okay, it's funny that it's a whip. And earlier it was said that the non-devotees were afraid of him. I don't know if it's because of the whip or because of his whip-like intelligence and being able to defeat them or chastise them to get on the right path. But then there's a contrast that says that he was feared by those non-devotees, but also very kind to the poor conditioned souls at the same time. So these two things seem a little bit incongruous, no? On one hand, people are afraid of him, but on the other hand, he's very kind. So what you could surmise is that his those who can accept his personality and his instruction, they'll be very much benefited, even though it might not always be easy. So in Krishna consciousness, we say that there's different kinds of happiness. Who knows what happiness in the mode of goodness is? The quality of happiness in the mode of goodness is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Come on, you know.
And the quality of mode of
Happiness in the mode of goodness.
happiness in mode of goodness. Okay. Passion. I mean, we know that happiness, mode of happiness, one ends with mode of goodness ends with happiness. Mode of passion ends with miserable.
So in the beginning, the happiness in the mode of goodness in the beginning may be just like poison. Maybe, not always, may be just like poison, but in the end is like nectar. Remember this?
Yeah.
And awakens one to self-realization. Happiness in the mode of passion is, in the beginning is like nectar, but in the end is like poison. And happiness in the mode of goodness, ignorance is always indolent, sleep, always messy, always problematic. It's different kinds of happiness. So Abhiram Thakur, sometimes he would be tough on the non-devotees, but he could transform them to devotees just by touching them with his whip. I remember when I went to the 25th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance in Vrindavan, Mother Devi Shakti, who at that time was taking care of Prabhupada's quarters, brought out Srila Prabhupada's cane that she had kept there, in his with his paraphernalia. So she asked me to hold it and keep it by his at a table outside the temple. So thousands of people were coming into the temple on the day, coming in and out, and all of them had to touch Srila Prabhupada's cane. It was wild, people's attempts to be able to touch the cane of the pure devotee. We say, Adharananam sarvesham Vishnu adharana param tasmat parataram devi. What's the last line?
Tadiyanam samar.
Tadiyanam sadachim. Yeah. So Lord Shiva is speaking to his wife Parvati and says that all kinds of worship of Vishnu is best. But even better than worship of Vishnu is
the worship of his devotee.
Yes, tadiya. So that's often, tadiya means, can be translated devotee. It means things that are very close and associated with Vishnu and his devotees. So like this whip or Srila Prabhupada's cane, that also could be included. Do you follow? So it's very special to be able to be touched by the whip of Abhiram Thakur or the cane of Srila Prabhupada. Among his many disciples, Sriman Srinivasa Acharya was the most famous and most dear. You know what Srinivasa Acharya is particularly famous for?
Book distribution.
How's that?
Isn't it they brought the books from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri?
Yeah, he, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Prabhu, they were deputed by the Goswamis, Jiva Goswami particularly, to bring all the writings of the Goswamis from Vrindavan to Bengal so they could be promulgated there. So Srinivasa Acharya was one of those three, but they got waylaid in one town out in just at the border of Bengal and Bihar, and Srinivasa Acharya, the books were stolen, but he recovered them. Yeah, and he was most likely the initiated disciple of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So even though Abhiram Thakur, he was considered one of his spiritual masters, so that would most likely be the Shiksha Guru. Just like in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada is accepted or considered the Shiksha Guru of all the devotees in ISKCON, the prime Shiksha Guru. And then others, there are various initiating gurus, but he's also, Prabhupada is that primary Shiksha Guru in ISKCON. Comments, questions? Okay, text 1415.
Nityanande নিত্যানন্দে আজ্ঞা দিল যবে গৌড়ে যাইতে, মহাপ্রভু এই দুই দিলা তার সাথে। অতএব দুই গণে দুহার গণন, মাধব বাসুদেব ঘোষেরও এই বিবরণ।
When Nityananda Prabhu was ordered to go to Bengal to preach, these two devotees, Ram Das and Gadadhar Das, were ordered to go with him. Thus, they are sometimes counted among the devotees of Lord Chaitanya and sometimes among the devotees of Lord Nityananda. Similarly, Madhava Ghosh and Vasudev Ghosh belong to both groups of devotees simultaneously. Purport. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, there's a place named Danihata near the Agra Dweep railway station and Patuli in the district of Burdwan, where the deity of Sri Gopinathji is still situated. This deity accepted Govinda Ghosh as his father. Even until today, the deity performs the Shraddha ceremony on the anniversary of the death of Govinda Ghosh. The temple of this deity is managed by the Rajvangsha family of Krishnanagar, whose members are descendants of Raja Krishnachandra. Every year in the month of Vaishakha, when there is a Bharadola ceremony, this Gopinath deity is taken to Krishnanagar. The ceremony is performed with 11 other deities, and then Sri Gopinathji is brought back to the temple of Agra Dweep. So how is it that the deity is performing the Shraddha ceremony? Anybody? I don't know either.
Well, deity performing means it's a relationship, and pujaris on behalf of the deity, they perform as a father. Sometimes, the marriage also done in this way. So pujaris perform, or devotees perform on behalf of the deity, will be sitting one side, and they perform ceremony like this based on the relationship.
Okay, yeah, every living entity has a dormant rasa, a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some of us have a relationship of neutrality. Some people have a relationship of servant to master, where the servants, Lord Krishna is the master. Some have the relationship of Sakya, friendship. Some are Vatsalya, means parent of Krishna. And some are in Sringara, Madhurya Ras, the lover of Krishna. That relationship, one thing that's common for all those relationships is the attitude or recognition of service. But then there's added more when from servitorship to friendship, there's an added element of intimacy. So, and then from friendship to parenthood, the conception that one must serve Krishna, but as a parent, otherwise something may happen. He has to be protected by the parent, fed by the parent. So even though deity worship, archa worship, basically starts with the servant master mentality, just like the servants in the palace of a king and queen will serve the divine couple. But as the the intimacy of the service increases, the attitude of a father or mother toward the deity can develop, especially if it's there within the living entity originally. So this is interesting that Govinda Ghosh had that relationship with the Gopinath deity as being like the father, Govinda Ghosh. So these two brothers, Madhava Ghosh and Vasu Ghosh, are both Lord Chaitanya's followers and in the group of Lord Nityananda as well. You know where we hear about Vasu Ghosh?
The song is bhajans.
Like which one?
I know. Yadi gaur na hoita tabe ki hoita kemane dhaitam. That is one. I know. There are a couple of others also.
Yeah, he wrote some songs, many songs. Also in the Gaur Arti, Narahari Adhikari.
Sanjay Vasu.
Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghosh Adigaya.
Ghosh
This is the Vasu Ghosh here that we're talking about. So we have these four people. And what is Bar Dola? What does that mean? Bar Dola. You know, is it? What Dola Jatra? What's Dola Jatra?
Dola means swing
Holy,
festival.
holy, holy.
So Bar Dola means?
Bara Dola means 12. Is it?
Yeah.
Bara Dola.
Yeah, so it seems they performed with 11 other deities, so there's 12 of them. It looks like they're swinging 12 somehow. I don't know. Is that possible? Is they're bringing these extra deities there? Or there are other those other 11 deities in this Gopinath deity?
From there only I figured out this Bara means 12.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yes,
I thought
Bara is actually 12. In Oriya,
Dola is swing.
swing, yeah, Dola swing, yeah. So they're swinging the deities there, yeah. Okay, the month of Vishaka. If you happen to go there on that day, you can see this. You can see that Gopinath deity taken from Agradvip, Raja Krishna. This is the Krishna Chandra near Navadvip. Yeah, Krishna Nagar near Navadvip. Okay, next. Oh, well, let's say the word. I'm sorry. Let's say the names of those devotees. You got Abhiram Thakur,
Abhiram Thakur,
Gadadhar Das,
Gadadhar Das,
Madhava Ghosh,
Madhav Ghosh,
and Vasudev Ghosh.
Vasudev Ghosh.
And just to know, this Gadadhar Das is different than the Gadadhar Pandit in the Panchatattva Mahamantra. Okay, next verse.
Prabhu, Goshani and Goswami is different.
Same.
রামদাস মুখ্য শাখা সখ্য প্রেম রাশি 16 সাঙ্গের কাষ্ঠ যেই তুলি কইল বাসি
Ramdas, one of the chief branches, was full of fraternal love of Godhead. He made a flute from a stick with 16 knots. Next 17.
গদাধর দাস গোপী ভাবে পূর্ণানন্দ যার ঘরে দান কেলি কইল নিত্যানন্দ
Srila Gadadhar Das was always fully absorbed in ecstasy as a gopi. In his house, Lord Nityananda enacted the drama Dana Keli. You know this Dana Keli? Anyone? No? Go ahead.
This is not the one Rupa Goswami compiled, right?
Rupa Goswami wrote about it, yes.
Okay. No, I
And
don't know.
what is that? Yeah, Dana, this is the pastime of Lord Krishna with the gopis. They're bringing some milk products, ghee, milk, and he stops them and gets, he wants to get them to pay toll. And so there's some exchange there. So that is the Dana Keli. And Rupa Goswami elaborated on that in a book later. Very intimate stuff. Gadadhar Das. So most of the associates of Nityananda Prabhu were in the Sakya Ras, but Gadadhar Das was different. Yeah, the Madhurya Ras. Text 18.
Sri Madhav Ghosh মুখ্য কীর্তনিয়া গণে নিত্যানন্দ প্রভু নৃত্য করে যার গানে।
Sri Madhava Ghosh was a principal performer of kirtan. While he sang, Nityananda Prabhu danced. Text 19.
বাসুদেব গীতে করে প্রভুর বর্ণনে কাষ্ঠ পাষাণ দ্রবে যাহার শ্রবণে।
When Vasudev Ghosh described Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda while performing kirtan, even wood and stone would melt upon hearing it.
মুরারি চৈতন্য দাসের অলৌকিক লীলা ব্যাঘ্র গালে চড় মারে সর্প শনে খেলা।
There were many extraordinary activities performed by Murari, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes, in his ecstasy, he would slap the cheek of a tiger, and sometimes he would play with a venomous snake. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Murari Chaitanya Das was born in the village of Shad Vrindavanpur, which is situated about 2 miles from the Galashi station on the Burdwan line. When Murari Chaitanya Das came to Navadip, he settled in the village of Mododrum or Mamagachi Gram. At that time, he became known as Sharanga or Sharanga Murari Chaitanya Das. The descendants of his family still reside in Sharir Pata. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Kanda chapter 5, there's the following statement. Murari Chaitanya Das has no material bodily features, for he was completely spiritual. Thus, he would sometimes chase after tigers in the jungle and treat them just like cats and dogs. He would slap the cheek of a tiger and take a venomous snake on his lap. He had no fear for his external body, of which he was completely forgetful. He could spend all 24 hours of the day chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or speaking about Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Sometimes he would remain submerged in water for 2 or 3 days, but he would feel no bodily inconvenience. Thus, he behaved almost like stone or wood, but he always used his energy in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. No one can describe his specific characteristics, but it is understood that wherever Murari Chaitanya Das passed, whoever was present would be enlightened in Krishna consciousness simply by the atmosphere he created. So there was he had a certain vibe, Murari Chaitanya Das, that was created a transcendental atmosphere. So here we have this, we'll say Murari Chaitanya Das.
Murari Chaitanya Das.
So he's slapping the tiger and treating him less like. Have you ever been in the presence of a tiger, an adult tiger? No?
No.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they're very incredibly powerful animals. Do we see this any other place before? This kind of behavior with tigers, etc.
when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went through the Jharkhand forest.
Yes, very good. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya was going through, and he slapped. There was a tiger in his path, and he slapped and said, "Chant Hare Krishna." So the tiger got up and chanted Hare Krishna. So it doesn't say here exactly that he is chanting Hare Krishna, this tiger, but it wouldn't be a stretch to say Maharaj Chaitanya Das invoked his or impelled him to chant the holy names as well. So he was playing with the tigers in the jungle and sometimes taking a venomous snake on his lap. Now you might know that in the United States, I don't know if it happens in other countries, but they have, there's this group called the Pentecost. You know about the Pentecost Christian group or the Holiness and Pentecost group? During the early part of the 1900s, it became popular to that part of their worship services were becoming snake handlers. Did you know about this? Ever hear this? So people would take
kind of like in Appalachia, right? They
yes,
do that.
yes, and it was especially popular in West Virginia. So people would take poisonous snakes and they would handle them and put them around their neck and things like that. Later, it was outlawed because sometimes when doing so, people would get bitten by the snake and die. One kid was 7 years old, so he got bitten by a snake. In Georgia, it was outlawed for that reason. Georgia, they had some people doing it, handling these snakes, poisonous snakes, and it was outlawed. But then sometime later, the law that was outlawing it was overruled. But then it was reinstated because one of the priest, he used the venomous snake to bite his wife because he wanted to be with another woman. So they reinstated this. So what was the purpose of them handling the snakes, though, in that sense, is they want to prove that they're, not afraid, that they're very elevated. That's their idea. So they handle snakes. There's some line in the Bible about behold, I'll give you the power to walk over snakes and not be hurt. I'll give you the power to drink poison and not be hurt. So they take that and they use it to show that they're not afraid and are protected by God. Of course, we see here that Maharaj Chaitanya Das, we don't see any information or any hint that he was doing it to show that he was an advanced devotee. That was just his situation.
As a matter of fact, the line says he had no fear of his external body, of which he was completely forgetful, meaning he was so engrossed that
Good point. Good point. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a difference in this activity and the activity, perhaps, of many of the Pentecost. There might be some who have become spiritually advanced and they're not afraid of afraid of the snake, and might because of spiritual advancement. But generally, it's a different purpose. You follow. In fact, there was I don't know if you know of Jim Jones from Guyana. You've never heard of Jim Jones? Anyone?
No.
Really? Wow. Yes,
Yes, I've heard it.
Yeah, he was a kind of offbeat Christian type preacher who came from Indiana, and later he went to San Francisco, and then he was threatened by some legal action, so he brought all of his followers to Guyana in South America, and they built a commune there. So part of his regular worship service was that in the night he would call everybody to a big pandal, big pavilion, and say, I want people to come and come forward and prove they're ready to die for their religion. So in the middle of the pavilion, they had a vat, and in the vat was, anybody know?
Poison.
Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid.
Remember that.
Kool-Aid.
Yes.
That's where the expression "drink the Kool-Aid" comes from. drinking the Kool-Aid. You ever heard that expression, drink the Kool-Aid? This is where it comes from, because they would put Kool-Aid in this vat, and he would say that this was poison. It wasn't poison, but he would say that it was poison, but based on the same kind of idea that, oh, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm ready to take danger for, and because people drink poison, along with, handling poisonous snakes was the ability to, you could drink poison and not be affected by it. So he would have people come one by one and prove their fearlessness and be ready to die for the cause if necessary. And they would drink the Kool-Aid, and because it wasn't poison, nothing would happen. Until one time when there was poison in it. And then all hell broke loose. People started to die, and then, anyway, there was about 900 people died there. And most of the people most of those people didn't die from drinking the Kool-Aid, though, in case you didn't know. What happened was, after some people came and they didn't know there was any difference between this Kool-Aid and the Kool-Aid before. But when people drank the Kool-Aid and after maybe 10, 15 minutes, they started to have bad reaction, and they started to, have seizures and things. People freaked out. So they wouldn't drink, nobody would drink any more Kool-Aid. So he had people around, Jim Jones had people around the pavilion who had syringes filled with poison, and he had them go and inject people with poison, and some people were shot. So 900 people died. Completely different thing than this. Here, Murari Chaitanya is actually fearless and actually has no material interest or fear, and he gets away with it. We shouldn't try to imitate that position artificially. And Srila Prabhupada, interestingly, there was one time when Shruta Kirti, who was his servant, by Srila Prabhupada's quarters, there was a bathroom, and Shruta Kirti went there in the bathroom for some reason, and there in the bathroom was a cobra. So he came back. Srila Prabhupada was having darshan with other devotees, and he was saying he didn't know whether he should say something right then and there about the cobra. So he told another devotee about the cobra, and the devotee goes, "Oh, there's a cobra in the bathroom." So everybody got all worked up, and they went over there, and they attacked the cobra. And Srila Prabhupada was there just chanting Hare Krishna and chuckling. And later that evening, when Shruta Kirti was giving him massage, Prabhupada said, he was saying, people are worried about the cobra. I have no fear of cobra. The cobra can come. It's okay. There's no fear at all. No worries about a cobra. So, because Prabhupada also, like Murari Chaitanya, had no worries about the physical body. But one shouldn't try to take one shouldn't try to assume that or that position artificially by any means. Questions, comments? What do you think about? Go ahead.
So please accept my obeisances. I'll go to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for calling on me. So the devotees like this that have this type of Shakti or this type level of advancement, how do they become so advanced? Are they born that way? Are they like this just specific devotee has so much advancement to be able to do so many wondrous things? Like, how does that happen?
Well, some people are Nitya Siddha and some are Sadhan Siddha. There's the song that we sing, we were singing before, Narottam Das Thakur was saying that all these Lord Chaitanya's intimate associates are Nitya Siddha. So you could say that some of these are born that way, but one can also come to that platform by sadhan. It's not one or the other. Both ways, they come to the same platform. In this case, Murari Chaitanya, being an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya, most likely is a Nitya Siddha. That's the evidence.
So many of these devotees who were in Chaitanya Leela that were close to him, they're eternally liberated souls that descended alongside Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that they could enact the pastimes with him.
Yes, and spread Krishna consciousness and benedict us people. Yeah. Thank you, Shashi Shekhar Prabhu, for that. Nice question. So we're not recommending that you slap the cheek of a tiger as a test or anything, but it's just interesting. Lord Srila Prabhu, go ahead.
If you go in front of tiger, heart fail.
You're finished, man. You're finished.
I'm finished.
Yeah. Although Lord Chaitanya wasn't
Don't
finished,
stay that long.
Murari Chaitanya wasn't finished. Yeah.
But there is a story, Prabhu, in Deep South. I don't know whether you heard Ayyappa. So he was also born to, I think it's connected with, I think, Shiva. I don't know fully story, but at childhood, he goes to forest and he just grows there only with lions, tigers, and like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a very good mythology stories there.
In Deep South, Ayyappa.
They just even now they go to it's a Sabarimala, I don't know, Sabari mountain. So they all go with black dress. I don't know, you must have seen. They just wear only black with some Rudrakshmala, and then they won't sleep on bed, they won't eat any, means sattvic food only they eat, very restricted food. Okay. And they take some things on their head and they walk to the hill.
Well, for a few weeks, they perform this ostrich in a year.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know how bona fide it is. Yeah, my father also did it.
Yeah.
2 years we did it. It's a little common in South India area. They consider, anyway, that's a different story. They consider him as a son of Lord Shiva. Different story, but with Shastras, we didn't hear that. When Lord Shiva approached Lord Vishnu to show him the Mohini Murti, and for us, Lord Shiva never came association with Lord Mohini Murti, but for them, they say by the union of Lord Shiva and Mohini Murti, he's born. But that's a different, I don't know where it has come from.
We don't know that.
Yeah. But idea is you're saying austerity. He that personality was riding on a tiger, that kind of thing. So here,
he's scared of anything, and he goes to the forest.
That's a different. Here it is spoken about the saintly personalities. Yeah. Somehow when I was thinking that generally when we say other species as well, whether lion or tiger or snake, they're also living entity.
Yes.
And they, in our life, when we treat somebody the way we treat them, there's immediately either they feel this person is, challenging me or this person is loving me. So we can feel that, right? How other person is speaking. And in advanced stage, they will be able to understand the living entity's nature, and the living entity also will be able to understand this person is not a harm to me. So they cooperate with the devotee as well.
Any examples of that?
Any example we see in the, nowadays YouTube also, we see people when they treat with the animals, they see monkeys, I grew up with monkeys.
No kidding.
Yeah, because monkeys can enter our house anytime like that. So if monkey will see your face first, if you show your face to monkey, then he will say that, oh, this person is challenging. Now also we have these challenges when monkeys can come to our houses like that. So if you show your face, then we'll say, oh, he's challenging me. Then monkey also will challenge you like that. But that's what I understand. Snake is very difficult thing here. It is mentioned, but the compassion and with which devotees will approach the living entity will be able to understand the mood that one is not my enemy, rather friend.
Yeah, like Haridas Thakur was chanting in a cave, and there was a big serpent in the cave, and serpent he decided to leave because he let Haridas Thakur be peaceful in his chanting. So because the super soul's there in the heart of the snake, and he could understand that. There's another incident that happened. Mother Jamuna tells a story of when she was in Radha Damodar temples. She used to feed a monkey that would come to the window every day. You know this, and then so at a certain point, Srila Prabhupada took that room, and so the monkey, he was using it for translation. So that room for doing his translating work. So the monkey came, and he didn't give the monkey any food. So the monkey was making noise. So she realized what had happened. So she went there, and Srila Prabhupada was there talking to the monkey, and the monkey left and let him do his service. And so she asked him, "Well, what did you say?" He said, "Well, I please let me do my work. This is important work." So the monkey left. In monkey language, however that is. At least that's what she says in her book. The same idea. The intention. You know, we're both on this. We're both servants of God.
My co-worker used to have in Denver that she used to keep a cobra in her house, in the cage. Okay. Every day she used to take 2 dead rats she used to buy and then take home for feeding that. And then she used to lock it when she comes to work. Evening she used to put it on her neck and she used to take for a walk.
Was it,
I don't know how
was it poisonous? Was poisonous or no poison?
That I don't know. She put in a cage. But seeing that itself will, if I see close to me, I don't know what happens. So whether it is poisonous or not poisonous. But she used to have.
Yes. All righty. Murari Caitanya Prabhu, yes. Murari Caitanya. Thank you very much. It's getting late now. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhishya kripasinabhyeva paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo.
Thank you, Vishnu Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.